Married at First Sight Season 20 Episode 17 Review, Breakthroughs, Betrayals and Enough Gossip to Fill the Retreat. Spoiler warning. This recap discusses the major storylines and drama surrounding Season 20, Episode 17, Breakthroughs and Betrayals. If you thought the couple's retreat was supposed to be a peaceful little getaway where everybody could reconnect, breathe deeply, and remember why they got married in the first place, baby, wrong show. Married at First Sight Season 20 has reached that dangerous point in the experiment where the honeymoon is long gone, decision day is practically knocking on the door, and everybody suddenly has the emotional stability of a phone with 1% battery. Episode 17, Breakthroughs and Betrayals, continues the couple's retreat drama with relationships being tested, gossip spreading through the group, and one husband and wife becoming close enough that the other couples start wondering exactly what is going on. The official episode description teases that one couple finds a path forward while gossip threatens to tear another relationship apart, and later, the group starts questioning the growing closeness between another husband and wife. And that, my friends, is the recipe for reality TV chaos. The couple's retreat has become a pressure cooker. Let's be honest, putting struggling couples in one location together is not necessarily therapy. Sometimes it is just a group project nobody wants to be assigned. These couples have already gone through weddings, honeymoons, moving in together, intimacy issues, arguments, group dinners, therapy sessions and enough awkward conversations to make a therapist need therapy. Now they're at a retreat. At this point, everybody is watching everybody else. Who is talking? Who is crying? Who is sleeping separately? Who suddenly looks happier? Who is spending too much time with somebody else's spouse? Who is whispering in the corner? And most importantly, WHO told WHO what? Because apparently the retreat came with an all-inclusive gossip package. The official synopsis makes it clear that gossip becomes one of the biggest threats to a marriage in this episode. And that's where this season gets especially interesting. The couples aren't only dealing with their own marriages anymore. They are dealing with the marriages around them. Somebody found a breakthrough. Let's start with the good news because Lord knows we need some. One couple appears to make progress and begins finding a possible path forward. That is what makes Married at First Sight so fascinating. Just when you're ready to put a couple in the done folder, they have one conversation that makes you wonder if maybe, just maybe, they can actually make this work. Relationships aren't always linear. One day you're saying, I can't do this anymore. The next day you're holding hands talking about the future. Then 30 minutes later somebody says something stupid and you're back at square one. Welcome to marriage. The breakthrough storyline gives the episode some emotional balance because not everything is falling apart. Some couples are actually trying. Some are listening. Some are becoming more vulnerable. And some are probably looking at the calendar wondering how many days are left until decision day. But then comes the gossip. Now let's get messy. Because nothing says healthy relationship retreat like a rumor making its way around the room. The problem with gossip in a group relationship experiment is that there is nowhere to hide. Everybody knows everybody. Everybody talks to everybody. And eventually, somebody's private conversation becomes everybody's business. That's when things get dangerous. A comment made casually can become a completely different story once it travels through 5 people. Person A says, I was concerned about their relationship. Person B hears, they don't think the marriage is going to work. Person C hears, they think he's a terrible husband. Person D hears, she said she wants a divorce. And by the time it reaches Person E, somebody has apparently filed paperwork. That is the reality TV telephone game. And this episode leans directly into it. The official synopsis specifically says gossip threatens to tear another marriage apart. And honestly, I have questions. Why are y'all discussing somebody else's marriage this much? Worry about your own spouse. You have your own problems sitting across from you at breakfast. Everybody suddenly becomes a relationship expert. One thing about MAPS participants, they will diagnose another person's relationship while ignoring the emergency happening in their own living room. Everybody suddenly becomes drive. Phil, oh, I think they have communication problems. Ma'am, your husband has been trying to communicate with you for 3 weeks. Sir, you're giving relationship advice while your own marriage is hanging on by dental floss. The retreat brings out that fascinating dynamic where the couples become a little too involved in each other's business. Sometimes that support is helpful. Other times, mind the business that pays you. And then there's that growing closeness. Now this is the storyline that has everybody looking sideways. The episode teases that the group starts questioning the growing closeness between one husband and wife. Before anybody starts throwing accusations around, let's be clear, closeness doesn't automatically mean something inappropriate is happening. People can become friends. People can connect emotionally. People can find comfort in somebody who understands what they're experiencing. But we're watching Married at First Sight. This is reality television. If two people are suddenly spending a lot of time together, laughing together, talking privately and appearing unusually comfortable with each other, somebody is going to notice. And somebody is going to talk. Because apparently these people have cameras, microphones and absolutely no shortage of opinions. The side I heard around the retreat. You know that moment when everybody is sitting together and nobody says what they're actually thinking. That's when you know something is coming. People start looking at each other. Someone raises an eyebrow. Someone suddenly becomes very interested in their drink. Another person says, "I'm not judging." Whenever somebody says, "I'm not judging," they are absolutely judging. That's the universal reality TV warning sign. I'm not saying anything is happening between the husband and wife being questioned. I'm saying the optics are enough to create conversation. And in this group, conversation becomes drama faster than you can say, "Decision day." The bigger problem, trust. Underneath all the gossip and mess is a serious relationship issue, trust. Trust is already difficult in this experiment because these people married strangers. Think about that. You don't have years of history with this person. You don't have childhood memories. You don't have college stories. You don't have a decade of knowing their family. You met them at an altar. Then you're expected to build a marriage. That's already a giant emotional leap. Now add gossip. Now add group opinions. Now add rumors about your spouse. Now add another couple getting unusually close. Suddenly, everybody's insecurities get activated. A person who was already worried about their marriage may hear one rumor and think, "See, I knew something was wrong." That's how quickly trust can disappear. The season is running out of time, and this is where episode 17 really matters. Decision day is coming fast. Season 20's episode schedule shows episode 17 airing August 20th, followed by episode 18, The Final Countdown, also airing August 20th. The next stage pushes the remaining couples toward the biggest decision of the experiment: stay married or get divorced. So there is no longer much time for these couples to figure things out. The clock is ticking, the pressure is increasing, and every unresolved argument is getting heavier. Earlier in the season, the couples were still learning each other's habits and personalities. Now they're supposed to decide whether this person is someone they want to spend their life with. That's a completely different level of pressure. My biggest problem with the group drama. Here's where I'm going to be shady. I understand friendships. I understand supporting other couples. I understand talking about your experience. But at some point, everybody needs to remember. You are not married to the group. You're married to your spouse. If your relationship is struggling, why are you spending so much energy investigating somebody else's? And if another couple is happy, why are we automatically suspicious? Let them breathe. Of course, if someone crosses a boundary, that's another conversation. But sometimes people in these experiments become so emotionally entangled with the group that they forget the original purpose. The goal isn't to win the retreat. The goal is to figure out whether your marriage can survive. The gossip is almost more dangerous than the arguments. A couple can recover from an argument. They can apologize. They can communicate. They can go to therapy. But gossip has a way of spreading. Once something is said, you can't unsay it. Even if the original statement wasn't accurate, the damage may already be done. That's why the betrayal theme in this episode is so important. A betrayal doesn't necessarily have to involve cheating. Sometimes betrayal is telling somebody something that was supposed to stay private. Sometimes it's revealing a confidence. Sometimes it's choosing the group over your spouse. Sometimes it's allowing somebody else to interfere in your marriage. And sometimes it's simply making your partner feel like they can't trust you. That's the real danger. Who is really ready for marriage? Episode 17 makes me ask the biggest question of the entire season. Who actually wants a marriage, and who wants the experience of being married? There's a difference. Marriage requires compromise. It requires uncomfortable conversations. It requires accountability. It requires admitting when you're wrong. And it requires choosing your partner even when things aren't fun. Reality television can make marriage look like a series of dramatic moments, but real marriage happens in the boring moments. It's paying bills. It's making dinner. It's dealing with bad moods. It's supporting each other's goals. It's having difficult conversations without turning them into warfare. And based on everything we've seen this season, Some couples are learning that lesson the hard way. My episode 17 verdict. I'm giving this episode a 4 out of 5 drama stars. Star. Why? Because the retreat has officially become messy. We've got fire couples making breakthroughs, fire gossip threatening marriages, fire people questioning boundaries, fire a husband and wife attracting attention because of their growing closeness, fire emotional pressure, fire decision day approaching, fire and everybody watching everybody else like they're contestants on a surveillance mission. The episode does exactly what late season Married at First Sight is supposed to do: turn up the pressure. At this point, nobody can hide behind the honeymoon. Nobody can blame first impressions. Nobody can say, we just met. You've lived together. You've fought. You've cried. You've laughed. You've gone through group therapy. You've had friends and family involved. Now it's time to decide. Final thoughts. Somebody better keep their story straight. The biggest takeaway from episode 17 is that the couples are running out of excuses. The experiment is almost over. The retreat was supposed to help people reconnect, but instead it has become another test. One couple appears to be finding a way forward. Another marriage is threatened by gossip. And the group's attention is focused on a husband and wife whose growing closeness has people asking questions. That's a lot happening before decision day even arrives. And here's my prediction. The biggest problem won't necessarily be the couples who argue the loudest. It may be the couples who have been quietly accumulating resentment. Because sometimes the marriage that looks calm on camera is the one that's already emotionally over. And sometimes the couple everybody thinks is doomed suddenly shocks everybody. That's why I'm not ready to make final predictions yet. But I will say this. Decision day is about to expose everything. The smiles, the tears, the fake peace, the real connections, the grudges, the regrets, and possibly a few people who thought they were getting a husband or wife only to discover they accidentally joined a season-long group chat with cameras. Chilly. I need everybody to mind their marriages, mind their business, and please stop spreading gossip unless you brought receipts. Because if episode 17 is any indication, decision day isn't coming to bring peace. It's coming to collect the receipts. What do you think? Was the gossip justified, or did everybody need to stay out of each other's marriages? Do you believe the husband and wife who are getting closer are simply building a friendship, or do you understand why the group is questioning it? Which couple do you think will say yes on decision day? And which couple is already mentally packing their bags? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Backhand index pointing down, medium dark skin tone. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe for more Married at First Sight recaps, reality TV gossip, predictions, shade and messy commentary. Because around here, we don't just watch the drama. We watch the watching. Tears of joy fire. Hashtag Married at First Sight. Hashtag maps. Maps 20. MAF season 20. Married at First Sight season 20. Hashtag MAFS recap. Hashtag MAFS review. Hashtag maps drama. Hashtag MAFS gossip. Hashtag maps spoilers. Hashtag decision day. Hashtag reality TV. Hashtag reality TV drama. Hashtag reality TV gossip. Hashtag MAFS Seattle.